Hey y'all.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's up?
So, I'm sorry. So you guys know I like to see myself on the RadioOnFire screen. That's my cue. So hey all, happy Tuesday. Okay. Happy Tuesday all. We are live right here at the Connected Corner. Another Tuesday night. Bringing you news and resources you can actually use. We are so excited about the opportunity on Tuesday nights, every Tuesday, 8:30 to 9:30. Myself, Tori Rose, the Connector, and
Kiana B. Jones.
And
I'm your girl D Nice, the entertainment specialist. What's good?
Coming all the way from the crazy worlds of Washington, D.C., DMV,
Whoa,
PG County, Virginia.
Yo, don't disrespect us like that.
She is officially from Baltimore now. If you've been here a couple of years and we like you, we make you famous.
I was doing the two-step this past weekend.
She did a two-step and she did the percolator and she was on beat and we have it taped. So we are excited. So guys, listen, we have an amazing show today. As I said, please dial in 404-436-1277.
Call us.
We want you guys to call. We want you to engage. Many of the topics and many of the individuals that we have on the show are based on what you said you need. So remember, the Connected Corner is not only where you can get your food stamps, where you get your chicken boxes, where you can find out.
Where do I sign up?
The latest and greatest in politics, and where you can
stamps.
find latest and greatest in entertainment, but you can actually get news and resources you actually can use. So before we get started, I want to take a moment of silence. I have something very, very sad to share with you all. And they think I'm joking, but
I can't even.
They can't even take it seriously.
I was going to.
Wait, hold on.
Come on, take me seriously, y'all. Come on, everybody.
Hold on.
Join me. They gotta fix their faces.
Hold on.
As soon as I'm trying to be serious,
not,
y'all are not ever serious. So listen,
Y'all
guys.
don't even understand the
Listen.
games this woman plays.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna take a moment of silence, okay?
Moment
We're gonna
of
clear
silence.
our minds.
Okay.
We're gonna clear our hearts.
I can't.
We're gonna be
All right.
serious,
I
All
can't.
right, I'm serious.
and we are going to pray.
Wait a minute. I want to show y'all how serious.
We're gonna be praying for everybody who has lost their
serious.
waistline,
Hey,
messing with this Chick-fil-A and Popeyes debacle. You guys worked so hard. I saw many of y'all tagging y'all liposuction therapists and your reconstruction services and your ab control doctors. I saw y'all. This was your summer.
Yo, you gotta see her face.
This was your summer. You were going to do it this summer. You were going to have a summer body. You almost did it. So I want to take a moment of silence for everybody who had the Chick-fil-A and Popeye sandwiches and, your summer body went out the window. It's gone. And maybe next summer is your summer.
Yeah.
I just went.
Did y'all try the sandwich?
No.
No.
Did not try the sandwich. Did you try it?
Absolutely not.
No. So I refuse to do any kind of engaging in
First
in
of all,
activity that requires
The
black
lines
dollars.
were wrapped around the corner. I'm not standing in that line.
Oh, yours wasn't that deep. It
It
had nothing to
not.
do with the economic
Well,
disenfranchise of our
absolutely,
people.
it did, but I'm not standing in that line either, though. Like, that line was crazy.
Listen, I was in, where was I yesterday? PG County, near College Park. And the line in Greenbelt was still wrapped around the building. So
crazy.
I'm going to tell you guys a little fun fact, and we're going to get right into our show. So in a lot of the foods that we have in McDonald's, Burger King, a lot of the high salt foods, there is something called monosodium glutamate in the food. And so monosodium glutamate, the other name of it is MSG. So if you've ever heard of MSG. And so foods that are heavily concentrated with MSG are more tasty to our bodies, right? They're salty. They do something for sodium intake in our food. Hey, y'all, our food, we crave the food. That's why you go drinking, you go out with your friends and party, you want something greasy and you want some pizza, you might want a chicken box, and then, or if anybody's ever had the real crack, the real father of crack, hip-hop chicken, they sprinkle all the delicious goodiness on top of it.
Wait a minute.
The delicious goodiness on top of the chicken, and has such high levels of monosodium glutamate that we crave it. So what has to happen when we're teaching people how to be healthy and families how to be healthier, we have to understand that not only are there sugars that kill us, there's salts that kill us, there's preservatives and additives that kill us, and fried chicken from places like Popeyes. Now, not Chick-fil-A, of course. They're good Christian people.
Yo.
But Popeyes, It got monosodium glutamate in it. So we're going to say no to MSG and no to the $24 million of free marketing that they got
hear me,
from
though?
pushing it through
That's crazy.
Facebook
That
and
is
social media.
crazy.
And, again, I am being more conscious of where the black and brown dollars go. There are restaurants right here in Baltimore. I'm going to give a shout out to Noor on York Road, Corey Brown and Tony and all that crew over there at Noor on York Road who has bomb chicken. Y'all can spend $24
My
and
grandma
go get
got
a
some
good,
bomb
good
chicken.
food. Her grandmama got some bomb chicken. So instead of investing in the fad, invest in your community. I'm done.
Shout out to my grandma.
All right, so who we got today?
Who we got? Did we finish? That's it?
That was all I had. What
That's
you got?
all you had?
That's all I had. I was waiting all week to talk about monosodium glutamate.
Oh my goodness.
I miss y'all.
So
Kiana, tell us what we did this weekend.
yes, so we had a wonderful time. Well, first of all, I was going to say I don't have a voice because of this weekend.
You want to share my cough drop?
Yes, please.
I didn't say have it. You want to share it?
How y'all about to share this cough drop?
Here,
I'm
have
like,
it.
How y'all about to
I
share
don't
this
know.
cough drop? That's
We're
what I wanna
cousins,
know.
but we ain't that close. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Dialing,
Hey,
www.radioonfire.com, 404-436-1277.
I'm gonna put this on because I have like a little cold situation thing going on right now. But we had first of all, we had a very, very, very busy weekend.
Busy weekend.
Busy,
The busiest.
Busy weekend, the busiest. And so you had the boat ride, Marilyn Mosby pop up Friday.
Yep.
You and Josh and Monica went from the team.
Hey, Marilyn Mosby, we love you, girl.
Hey.
Thank you for all you do. That's my plug.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And right. And then on Saturday, I really am excited, y'all. Just,
I keep hearing my voice. What's happening?
I really am excited. So Saturday we had we made it to 4 out of the 5 events that we had.
Kudos to
Community
y'all,
events on
because that's a lot of
Saturday.
work.
4 out of
Kudos.
5 events
Yeah.
this
It's a lot of
Saturday.
work.
I thank you, my team. We were out in the community having.
Yes. So we had Leonard Hicks. What's that? New Hope.
Greater New Hope
Greater New
Baptist.
Hope Baptist Church on that's the 2700 block of North Avenue.
North and Ashburton. Whoop, whoop.
Yes, and they had an amazing back to school drive. It was just really a resource event. Everybody was there. It was all these different organizations. You had Security Plus, Credit Union. No, I know you don't feel that great. And
PCSD.
It's another story.
they were there. We had a lot of mental health.
Yeah.
2 or 3 mental health organizations there, which is needed in the community. And then we had Safe Streets Back to School Drive.
No, we went to John Wesley before that.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I went there 1st. Then I came to almost second. We like switched, right? So then we had John Wesley community event. They were giving away clothes and book bags, and the community came out. They were able to eat. And at that particular event, we want to thank our volunteers, Misty and Jazzy, because they
Thank you,
were there
guys.
for us, and they was
Shout out
able
to
to
Jazzy.
Thank you, guys.
to man the we read we lead literacy program table. So we were just all over the community.
Yep.
On Saturday, and then it was
Safe
Streets,
Streets.
and
Yep.
that was an amazing event. And then Sunday,
What happened on Sunday?
We tore the house
I got
down.
to dance my
we
pain
did.
away.
We had such a good time
It's on your live.
at
Just
the
had to dance my pain
Brains
away.
Beauty and Business
Facts.
Day Party.
Facts.
We had a good
For
time.
our Baltimore bosses. I mean, we had an amazing time.
Shout out
Sheila
to
Dixon was in the
Justine.
house. Thank you so much
Thank you, Miss
for the
Sheila.
encouraging words and letting people know what it takes to run a campaign.
Facts.
Thank you so much.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
In a bomb pink suit.
Oh, what?
I wish I was a little skinnier,
Hey,
but
yeah.
you know.
It was so nice. And then our hostess of the evening was Justine from Ella on Hair, and
Hey,
she
girl.
did an amazing job.
She did.
Just an amazing job. So we are just thank everybody who came out and supported. Thank you for those who donated, purchased tickets, but were not able to make it. We thought it was a very successful event. Alvinda Yvette, Ramos Banks came, and we just had an amazing time.
The food
we had a
was
good
so
time. The
good.
food was
Oh
so
my
good.
God.
Thank you to
Felicia.
Felicia at
The food was
Exquisite
amazing.
Catering.
Yes.
She was
Oh my
amazing.
goodness.
The food was
Yes.
amazing. Hey, Miss Cam.
So-
Miss Cam, we were just talking about your two-step girl.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And
Miss
you had on a
Kim.
nice pink suit too. So
I said we can go
Oh,
out
yeah, she
together.
was there.
she was there. I do want to give a special shout out to there was a celebrity in the building who this is the first time I've been able to actually party with this person. So I want to give this person a shout out to Donica D. Nice.
Whoa.
I know I said your good government name.
Whoa.
So you can book her under both. She takes payments and cash apps under both.
Make sure it's right. Please.
Facts. D. Nice. D.
There.
Nice. The nice one. And you know, it's the first time you've been with Tiana Taylor. You've been with Young M.A. You have been with all of these people. I Am Zoe and all these people who I honestly didn't know because I don't watch TV and I'm irrelevant.
Facts.
But you had never partied with Tori Rose before.
Nope.
And so not as my official MC. So I just want to say thank you.
Yes.
You are amazing. Words cannot express how dope you are. And everybody was like, hey, her voice. Her voice. So we got to have more parties.
Jazzy, when they were outside, when she saw, they be like, that was you? We didn't
Right.
know it was
Oh,
you.
yeah.
So
Thank
you have like
you.
a grown MC on the inside.
It's the D nice. It's the nice in me.
How do we book you?
You can book me, Google, book dnice1@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at I am dnice1 and click the email button. Go straight to my email. Book me. Make sure you got your money though, cause
Facts. Because we don't rape or rob our
you know what I'm
businesses.
saying?
And we
you got your coins,
we
cause it ain't
focus,
free.
hey, Kenny? We focus on giving entrepreneurs and small business
Facts.
owners, and especially women business owners, a platform. So again, Beehive Connected Group, give me a pound, girl. Come on, ew.
Facts.
So Beehive Connected Group, we had a woman caterer.
Yes.
I was Felicia with Exquisite Catering. We had a woman DJ.
DJ
Kibi.
Hey.
She's amazing.
Oh, I love her.
We love
She
Kibi.
plays all my favorite
And then
things.
we had MCD Nice. So she was a woman. We had a woman host. I don't want your fellas to feel like we don't
Bartender.
love you because we do.
Oh yeah,
But
Terry with the
future
bartender.
is definitely female. Miss Terry T. Rock Gross.
You hear me?
Yeah.
She
She is
had
so
me
pretty.
leaning. She had me leaning, man.
Oh, so I-
Those drinks.
I
was
drank water
off.
the whole time as the candidate.
Listen, them drinks was on one. I have a picture. Y'all go check out my Instagram. This is like sunset drink. Oh my gosh, it was a strawberry Hennessy. Amazing.
So the future is female, and if you
Yes.
guys don't realize it, you know you can fight it if you want, but
If
the
you
future
want.
is female. So
Yes, it is.
I'll give it a shout out to everybody
Facts.
and all of that.
Yes, it was amazing. Thanks everybody for their support.
Absolutely.
And
Anything else?
that's it.
Yo, so I mean, we can go into entertainment really quickly. I mean, we was talking about the Popeyes. I do know. I heard. I don't know if this is true. I heard that Popeyes has ran out of chicken sandwiches.
Yep.
So they said, "Yo, skirt on your breaks. Stop rapping the lines and go get a chicken box, 2-piece, and a biscuit, because the chicken sandwiches ain't here no more."
Gone.
Y'all didn't did some crazy things. You know what's crazy too? I was watching on Instagram. Someone literally bought like 50 chicken sandwiches and then resold them for $20 in
Right.
front of Popeyes.
Right.
Wow.
What? Are you serious?
So the power of a dollar
That is
and the power of
crazy.
marketing. And when we talk about, and I hate to get on my soapbox, but I saw people fighting in the Popeyes,
Right?
and all of them look like me.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
God, black.
Come on, man. It was
Right.
it's embarrassing for real. But I mean, that's crazy. All I know is that on 2020, y'all better get out and vote. Just like y'all was wrapped around the corner, just like y'all was on it. Y'all better get out in 2020.
Yes.
I don't want to hear nothing about, oh my gosh, Donald Trump won again. If you do not get out and vote,
Yeah.
yo, it's
I
gonna
was
be a
thinking some
problem.
other name,
It's
but
gonna
okay.
be a problem. Now we ain't gonna mention that. We ain't gonna get no clout on this show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another thing, I don't know if you guys know, but the VMAs was just past weekend. That's the Video Music Awards on MTV. And it was crazy. It was a lot of controversy about the Megan Thee Stallion, and Megan Thee Stallion won actually an award for her song that she doesn't even have a video for.
Okay.
So how is that possible if it's the Video Music Awards and you win a whole award for a video that's not even out yet?
Well, we have a president that we can't prove was born.
I
in
guess.
this earth.
I guess it was a lot of controversy. I mean, I love Megan Thee Stallion, so she gets all my
Well,
votes.
can you help me understand something? So I've seen
hot
her,
girl stomach.
and you know, I'm a little confused
Don't do
about.
it. I see it. I hear it.
I'm a
I
little
hear
confused.
it.
So her name is Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes.
And for anyone who understands horses, stallions are male horses,
Ooh.
and
You know
so.
what? I was listening to this today and I was a little confused.
I'm just really confused. So, you know, I read a lot about the equine.
Oh Lord, here
And
we go.
we
Getting
ride
real
horses.
literal.
And so I'm a little confused. Is she really a natural born woman?
I believe so. I believe so.
Come on, from the back.
From the producer.
From the producer.
Yes. I'm
believe
not talking
so.
about her assets.
Yes, she is.
No,
you,
no,
thank
no.
you. Please come.
You
Yes.
cannot.
Yes,
No,
defend
Nikki,
her.
don't give him anything.
A
I'm asking.
stallion. Okay, so a stallion
Let's look at the
in
producer
this
over
sense.
there.
See, some people so little. You know what I mean? And in this sense, when a guy says, "Damn, Shorty a stallion,"
Facts.
he don't mean she's a male horse.
Facts.
No,
Oh.
we mean
She's-
Shorty's stacked. She's
She
thick.
built. She
big, you
got
know,
that.
That's what it is. So when she says Meg the Stallion,
Uh-huh.
Shorty's bad, like she's stacked.
Okay.
It's a slang term.
I get it.
This is supposed to be the connected corner.
It is, and we're
trying to
connecting
connect
people
you.
to the truth.
I'm trying
And
to
we
connect
have a
you.
huge LGBTQ RSP
ABC.
ABCD community, and we want to make sure.
Well, I'm saying that
Well,
I'm
we
sure
wanna-
that this
we
would
wanna
apply
clear
to
it
those to those ladies and gents as well. You know, if something that you like is stacked,
Okay.
it's a
Absolutely.
stallion.
Absolutely. I have to agree with him.
The fifth
He
show.
He is not
He
involved
It's
in
a
the
stallion.
conversation.
He's a
Is
stallion.
all I'm saying.
It's a
But
whole
as soon as we
stallion.
talk about
assets.
assets, now he part of the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you for that
Thank you.
defense.
Right.
Important to know.
Thank you.
I did not know
Thank you
that
for that defense.
stallion meant she was stacked. I'm glad to know she's a natural
Because I
born
thought that was
woman.
Brick
Yes,
House.
and
What
I
happened
think
to
her,
Brick House?
her
Brick House.
boyfriend, her
Thank you.
boyfriend, her
Okay.
boyfriend is actually a Moneybag Yo. You definitely don't know who that is,
Not
but
at
he
all.
is a rapper in the rap game, and I don't think he got a problem with that. So
Well, he may be riding the horse with a saddle on. He could also be actively in the LGBT community. I don't
No,
know
he's
that.
not.
I just
Watch
wanted
it.
clarity.
Oh, man. Y'all hear
I just
that?
wanted clarity. So listen,
Man.
for all of you all,
Moneybag Yo, though.
I enjoy being Tori the Pony.
hey yo,
I don't know where. We're going to just call out
Don't-
guests. I don't know
Right.
where we're going.
Where we're going with this.
That's
so,
crazy.
are you done with your entertainment?
Another thing, real quick, Challenge to Change. They're having a summer camp closing exercise. It's Saturday, August the 31st, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The first 100 kids, they get some giveaways. It's back to school. Baltimore City, I believe, go back to school on Tuesday, right after Labor Day.
Lord. Yes.
You can pull up at the
I'm sorry,
4th Worthington Elementary School on 2710 East Hoffman Street. Pull up, get you some good gifts for your kids back to school. You
Turn the
know,
flyer around for me. Right
And
there.
we'll also
Right
have
here.
that posted. So for anybody who is
Yeah.
This one too.
literally
Right.
watching at
My bad.
www.radioonfire.com.
And I got one more.
We'll have it
One
posted.
more. All right. So this next month, I will be going to the Revolt Summit in ATL. People who don't know that is, I am into entertainment and everything like that. It's Diddy's Revolt Summit. Everyone's going to be there. This is a great network to connect. We talking about the Connect the Corner. This is a great time to meet a lot of people that's in the industry. That is going to be in ATL September the 12th through the 14th. Also, another one is going to be in Los Angeles October the 24th to the 26th. Get your passes at revoltsummit.com. I will be in the building. I'm definitely going to make my connect, so don't miss yours.
I hope you could drive. I wish you could drive.
I'm driving.
Good, because I'm going to be in your trunk.
What?
I need to go.
Nah, I'm driving.
Okay.
So
Well,
when is the one?
the September.
September?
Yeah, it's September 12th through the 14th. I'm in there.
And then how do they find more information out about it?
Just go to revoltsummit.com, or you can actually go to my Instagram. I'm posting it all down my Instagram. I'm trying to get as much attention as I can. But make sure when you come prepared. Diddy don't play that. Diddy don't play none of those games. So come prepared with all your network material and get in the building.
Awesome. Let's give her a hand clap. Yes, the nice one. We're excited. I want to go to Atlanta. So I want to give a shout out real quick to Black Professional Men. I see you guys are watching. Kim Pinkney, she's my new auntie. I love you to life, girl. Dana Mooring, Melvin, Lil Mel, Ty. Ty and I have been friends for well, he's older than me. I'm just 27, so y'all can do the math. But we've been friends for a long time. West Baltimore, born and raised. On a playground is where we spend most of our days. I see a bunch of people. Hey, Miss Catherine, Eddie. Just want to give the shout outs to everybody who's tuned in. Avery Neal. Hey, guys. Go drop your comments below. Let us know what you want us to talk about. And any questions you have for Mr. Wesley Hawkins with the No Leader Project, please drop them. Also, dial in to 404-436-1277.
Facts. Call us.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
So, let's get a drum roll. Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, go ahead while I do it. We about to bring up. We about to bring up
Hey.
baby boomer Wesley.
Come on, don't give up.
You was getting it. You was getting it. You was getting
I really
it.
don't have
You was doing it. You was doing it.
Oh, Kiki, let me
Kiki
find
the
out your whole
Stallion.
MC. Kiki the Stallion.
Stallion.
we
She's
gonna
a
get
natural
off of
born
that.
woman.
Hey, Kiki, and she
I
got one of
I
your
was
songs.
there.
You love one of her songs too.
I listen to him. I do.
I listen to our music
She
too.
low
You know?
ratchet. No, you Cardi B.
I do listen to Cardi B.
She on her pull up, bop, bop, bop.
Nah, I'm down.
Cardi B helps me channel my inner aggression.
Oh my god.
But anyway, back to our guest.
Yes. So this young gentleman, can y'all believe? And we're gonna talk about this. Retired himself at 33.
Facts.
You know, he always just got to outdo somebody. He's notorious. He on my nerve.
33 years old, a retired correctional officer, property manager, author, CEO,
Yes.
nonprofit organization 501c3,
Yes.
the Lolita Project.
Come on, black man.
I seen that on the news.
Okay.
I seen him
He
on the
stayed in the
news.
community. He stayed busy. He's
Stay in the
mentoring.
news.
He's passionate and committed to the youth and to the community. And I don't know if it was the first time. I know we met in passing, but we had the pleasure. We did Get Out the Vote last school year, and we were there with Black Girls Vote. Shout out to Black Girls Vote.
Nice.
And we had a great time. I mean, he commanded those kids. I mean, they were so into his story. And I was just looking like, what have I been doing all my life?
Right.
You know, he's just out here motivating the community, motivating the youth.
Yeah.
And we are just so honored and happy to have him here
Yes.
with us today. So we're going to give a big hand clap to Mr. Wesley Hawkins.
Come on down. Ew.
I would just have to say, we remixed that just for you.
Just
we
that was the first time. We gonna
you
work
hear
on
me?
that thing.
So that was real special. I like that.
Yeah, we remixed that just for you.
I don't know. She put a couple smiles on my face and everything.
I personally would like to see Wesley's closet. And
Facts.
so
This
I
man
used
be
to all the time. I used to pride myself in never repeating an outfit until I walked first hand and full time into my entrepreneurship. You beat me by 2 years, but I'm also 2 years older than you, so maybe we're somewhere in the same place.
Oh
but
my goodness,
anyway,
Aquarius, so
the
competitive.
Aquarius is right. I retired myself at 35, so which was this year, March 1st was my last day of anybody's plantation work, and I've been repeating outfits. I'm like, girl, just give me that off the couch, shake that off.
Yo.
But you try and go back to work though.
What kind of work?
You doing something that's going to require you to.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny, and everybody says that. Well, Tori, you know, when you get elected, you'll be working for the city, and so I don't see it as work.
Okay,
I
that
don't see
sound
it
like
as
winning
work.
bills right
I
there.
don't see it as work. I see it as service.
Okay.
So it's a
I
little
like
different.
that. I like
It's a
that.
little different.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But
how I
anyway.
look at teaching.
Yes, and I do teach, and that feel like work.
That's how I look at hosting.
So if I can tell the story real quick, because Kiana's going to start this interview real quick. If I can tell the story real quick about, take us back to the Black Girls Vote. You guys did the event, and y'all met. What you didn't know is Kiana was calling me like, yo. And you hear me, because she's trying to whisper, but you know, we got this friend Russia thing in our family. She like, girl, this guy Wesley Hawkins is in here. I'm like, oh, is he a gospel singer? No, girl, shut up and listen. She's like, he is so powerful. He is on it. The kids are so engaged by him. I'm like, okay, Kiki. She's like, no, like the real kind. And so for her to be impressed by you, it meant a lot because I'm just going to say it. We meet a lot of people, and we're not easily impressed. Not at all. And so what happens is the recipe for community work in our city looks similar, right? Everybody running after kids. Everybody talking about right now voting in the election season. Everybody talking about the homeless. Everybody talking about what they talking about, but it's just talk.
Right.
Yeah.
So when she called and she was all excited, I was like, all right, I guess I Googled a dude. And I'll be honest, I didn't. I did not. But when I met you, I'm like, yo, why you ain't telling me about Wesley Hawkins? She called me some choice words, but it's been love since then.
And
So.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
problem.
I actually remember meeting her at the event. And, you know, for me, it's more so, it's a passion.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, I don't like to speak down on people, but some people look at things as they doing it for certain particular reasons. And I feel like when you servicing people in your community, if you're looking at it to get rich, then you in the wrong field. Because doing service work is not a field that is going to provide
Right.
You know, majority of the time it's not going to provide no hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars.
Right. What was the
They're-
number again?
they're-
Hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars.
Or millions
Okay.
of dollars. They may
Yes.
be few and far in between of people who become multimillionaires off of servicing people. So for me, it's more so of a passion, and it's so much of a passion driven because I tell people all the time I come from it. You know, and a lot of us come from these environments, but you have so many different layers that a lot of people either they leave the environment and they never come back and return and bring any resources or help. Second, they have given up and they had lost hope and they don't have no type of understanding or faith or belief in why they should continue to even fight for our communities.
That's good.
And then third, you have the people that might be teetering the fence of what they want to do and do they believe or they don't believe. For me, I just realized that somebody taking the time at one point in time in my life and investing in me helped me get to become, you know, becoming and building as a stronger, better individual and man. Growing up, I never really saw positive black men in my community. I don't like to say that out loud sometimes, but I just didn't. Where I grew up at, a lot of those houses in that community is not there no more. I used to live 1113 McDonough Street.
Oh, wow.
And that's directly down the street where Johns Hopkins and the large corporations are buying all of those properties and turning them into, you know, homes that now the people who live there can no longer afford.
So wait, you're from East Baltimore?
Uh-oh.
Did y'all know that?
I knew.
Okay.
So-
go ahead.
so-
We'll let you finish.
So when I you know lived down there, it was tons of abandoned houses.
Right.
And all of the men, from what I saw growing up, they sold drugs or they were in and out of jail. They was part of the street life. So these things were taught to us at a young age. A lot of the women were, you know, strung out on drugs or, you know, doing prostitution and stuff like that. So my mother was a hardcore crack cocaine addict. And then later in her life, she started doing what's called speedballing. And speedballing is when you doing crack cocaine and things like heroin and other drugs into it. So I remember me being a young child on the side of the bed watching my mother smoke crack cocaine or watching my mother sell her body, you know, for money, you know, to get high, or any type of, you know, clothing or toys or products we had in the house, she sold it. So if it was a birthday, you better play with those toys that as much as you can that day because the next day it's gone because she sold it for her next fix. So as a child, growing up and living in that, it's a lot that we don't expose or talk about in our communities because a lot of people are, one, ashamed. A lot of people are, two, don't know how to express and expose their trauma. And three, a lot of people feel like it's normal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nothing. We all live through that. No, these things shouldn't be normalized. And what I realized was, you know, going through these experiences, they aren't normalized. And they shouldn't be normalized to me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these kids are numb to it. A lot of the people turn into adults. We become numb to these conditions that we grow up in. Growing up in communities with abandoned houses, we numb to it. Growing up with a lot of people being shot, stabbed, killed, and robbed at a young age, we numb to it. Only thing we doing is getting an RIP shirt and then putting up a sign, you know, rest in peace, such and such. But the after life or the after portion of that, what else is being done?
Right. And I hate those shirts with those raggedy clouds on it. I hate it. I always tell people, like, if I die while I'm serving my community or I die when I'm young, please don't put me in the raggedy clouds. And I say that people think I'm joking, but I mean it because it memorializes, especially when a person is murdered, right? So we say rest in peace, and now the kids are saying rest in power to someone who was 19 and murdered. What kind of power is that? You know, so yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to throw my disclaimer because I do update my obituary every 3 to 6 months. Kiana and I are financial advisors, and we are also planners, right? So when we sit with our loved ones, our relatives, we're talking about final expenses and how to plan your funeral even now because you never know. You know, I have a 10-year-old, and you have a son, right? How old is your son?
So actually, so even with that, so I don't have any biological children. My mother passed away 5 years ago, and when my mother passed, she was 50. My mother had her last child when she was 48. When my mother passed, my youngest brother named Elijah, he was 2. So my mother passed, and she passed from cardiac arrest because the drugs ate her lungs and she could no longer breathe. So when she passed, Elijah was 2.5 months later, Elijah's father was shot and killed on West North Avenue. So my mother passed in that same house, and his father was shot and killed. So my mother passed in December, and his father was shot and killed in February. So at the age of 2, my youngest brother lost both of his parents. So at that moment, I received a phone call. I rushed in town, and last time I saw my mother, I had to identify her body on her deathbed. At the time, I didn't know my youngest brother, and the reason why, he was 2 years old, but I didn't know him. This is a little touchy for me, but I expose it because I like for people to heal from my story. At the time, I hadn't seen my mother in 2 years, and that was a personal choice. My whole life, I grew up basically taking care of my mother and being a father figure to my mother and a parent instead of being a child. So I never really had a childhood that I could be a child. I had a childhood that I was forced to be an adult at a young age. So my whole childhood was basically built around getting my mother clothing and food and housing. These are the reasons why I started hustling at a young age, because 1, she taught these things to me, and 2, the community taught these things to me, and 3, I thought those were the ways to make money fast to take care of my household. So fast forward, when my mother passed, I didn't see my mother for 2 years because the last time I saw my mother, one of my sisters was in the hospital. And I rode around West North Avenue where my mother used to hang out at, up the street from Poplar Grove and Dukeland. And they knew my car. At the time, I had a Infiniti G37. I had pipes on it, all that stuff. So when I came out the block, she would see me. So I see her get up and she just take off because she know when I come around, I'm holding her accountable. So I come up the block, I see her, she take off. I saw her at the time husband, and I pulled over and I hop out my car and I'm like, have you go get my mother for me? And he's like, man, I ain't getting in that shit with you and your mother. And he began to serve some pills. At the time, I'm emotional. My little sister is at Kennedy Krieger because she's going to do some emotional things. And she's like, I want to see my mother. So my mind frame was, all right, I don't know what's going on with my little sister. I might go get my mom. So I go down there to try to get my mom. I see her husband. He go serve in my face. And I'm mad, So I slapped the pills out of his hand and I stomped him. Whoa, those weren't his pills. He's an older guy. He's hustling for some young dudes on the block. Wow. They jump off the stoop. They like, yo, you think because niggas know you around here? Yeah. So they going off. I'm like, yo, I ain't worrying about that. Because at the time, I ain't even there. So it escalate quick. I began fighting 3 people. The 2 dudes, young dudes that he working for, and my mother's husband. So I'm a smaller stature guy, but one thing I've been equipped with is I'm very, very capable of physical combat. So I'm fighting 3 men out here. Boom. So the dude who, ran the block around there, he come right down the street. He like, yo, chill out. He like, shorty, you always come around here with that shit. You fucking my money up. I'm like, yo, go get my mother for me. So at the point, I'm crying, I'm bleeding, all that. So he like, yo, tell No come out the house. That's what they call my mother, No. So they get my mother out the house. He tell my mother, he like, yo, shorty don't care what he do to himself or around here. You gotta go because he gonna fuck my money up. The police gonna be around here. I can't have that. He like, I respect shorty because he ride for his mother, but I can't have him fucking my money up. So they make my mother get in the car, right? Riding up West North Avenue, going towards Copper. My mother like, Wesley, give me $50. I need a blast. So I'm like, Mom, I'm not about to give you no money for no drugs, I need you to go to the hospital with my sister. She's like, no, stop. Let me get a blast real quick. I'm like, nah. So in emotion, because I wouldn't give my mother no money to get high, she jumped out of a moving car. She fell, rolled over a little bit, got up and took off.
Wow.
I was so emotional at the moment that I pulled over and I probably cried for like 2 hours. At that moment, I realized I'm like, I can't keep chasing my mother because it's emotionally damaging, hurting and breaking me. I'm sitting in the car, I'm bloody, I'm crying. My little sister in the hospital. I just finished fighting 3 dudes to try to, deal with the situation. And only thing my mother at the time was worried about was getting her next fix, getting high, getting her blast. emotionally I was done.
Yeah. Yep. That's
So
that breaking point.
yeah, I had such a hard time dealing with that at that time that I couldn't see her no more. So I stayed away from her. I heard she was pregnant. I heard what was going on. I kept tabs on her because I know the community, but I couldn't go around there. So when she passed, it hurt me because the last time I saw her was that bad incident, and then the very last time I saw her body physically was her deathbed. So I try to tell people from my situation, that's still your parent.
Right.
And that's what I learned from it. Like, even though I was emotionally hurt and went through a lot, that was still my mother. And, I wish I could have done different things to help her, but it was beyond me. She was sick. And that's a whole different story. I can get into that. It would take up a lot of time. But the fast forward, when she passed and when I wasn't living in town, I was out of town at the time, a girl I went to high school with sent me a DM on Facebook and was like, Wesley, your little brother around here in this bandit house. I'm like, what you talking about? So at the time, I'm thinking he with his father or with his family. I never met him. So I come in town. I go to the house. It's an abandoned house around the way. They sell drugs out of there. They getting high in there. They having sex, everything. So I go in there. It's people running in and out. So Elijah is, at the time, 2 years old. He has a pamper filled with feces. He had, dirty clothes. He's digging in the trash or whatever. He's crying. All these people running around like nothing's happening. So I grab him. I put him in my car. I rush him to the hospital. When I take him to the hospital, they's like, well, you are not his biological parent. We can't release him to you. So then social service became involved. And they like, for you to get him back, you have to become his foster parent. So at the time, I had to move back into Baltimore because I was living in Waldorf, Maryland. I was in a relationship at the time. I moved back to Baltimore, turned one of my properties that wasn't rented out yet, moved into it, and they had to come and inspect it. So at the time I was 27, I became a foster parent of my youngest brother. So the young boy that people in Baltimore think is my son, which is my son legally,
Right.
is my youngest brother.
Wow.
So he's 7 now. I've had him since he was 2. So for 5 years, I've been raising him as a single parent dad. And it's, I deal with it. I raise him by myself. I do what I need to do. And I make sure he has everything that I never had, everything that I missed. I try to spend as much as time with him and things like that. It's been tough because when I first, got him, he went through a lot of emotional things, even though he was with my mom for 2 years. Those 2 years were really strong and deep. Right. So Elijah has, certain things that he does, like he hoards food. Even though I've had him for 5 years, he eats every day on a schedule. He has multiple meals, but he hides food because it says it's like the trauma.
Right.
He didn't know where his meal was coming from when he was with my mom, so he hides food. He has a high, energy level, and he don't know when it's time to go to bed. And the doctor says because when my mother got, when my mother she was pregnant, she got high with him. So he missed a part of his brain
Development.
that slows him down necessarily. So he don't really slow down. So from the time it'd be 1 a.m, and I'm like, come on, dude, I'm tired. Go to sleep. And it's after I get him to sleep, 5:30 in the morning, he up already, and it's he's on 1,000. So I gotta get up. And these are the things that average people might not know about me. Right. These are the things that an average person might not know that I'm dealing with or that I'm going through every day. Because I don't cry, I don't whine, I don't make excuses. But it's nice that I'm up with him, I can't get to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding him. It's nice that after I done went to work, went to school, did my community work, did my organization stuff, I still have my child to deal with. And because of the things that he dealt with in his childhood from my mom, he won't go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And he's up in the morning. So now, and to be honest, people actually do, I'm a very energetic person, but I might get an average on 4.5 hours of sleep.
Wow.
And it's not just because I'm running myself in the ground. It's also because I'm raising a child by myself that has things that I need to help him grow and develop and get through. So it's certain stuff that bothers him that I have to deal with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we used to go to, so when I first started, he had two social workers. One would come to my house, and one we had to go see. And I had to go to Kennedy Krieger twice a week when I first got them. I stopped taking them because I couldn't link with a doctor that I felt like really understood us. You know, no offense to any fans or watchers or, you know, people. They kept linking us with white doctors that never went through any of these things. They had the education, they had the, you know, the doctorate degrees and the textbook, but they didn't understand the ground level and the real life experiences that we had lived through. So honestly, when I told these things to doctors, they would be looking at me like, doctors looking at me like, well, how are you? And it became like I was almost an experiment to them. And they was taking a lot of information, like building from me. I'm here for help.
That's right.
So at that point, I began to engage. And then now I'm doing my own research. How can I do therapeutic things at home? What can I come up with remedies and reading and learning and things like that? And that's what inspired me to go back and get my master's. Like, because at the point I had my undergrad and I wasn't going to go back to school, but I'm working on my master's now. My master's in education, and a specific, study part of it is trauma. So I'm heavily trauma informed, and I'm big in, ACEs, adverse childhood experiences like that. That stuff drives me to learn more about it, because now I'm looking at it like, oh, I understand what my mother went through this.
Right,
oh, man, I understand why I'm like this, or what my little brother is going through, or what my community is going through.
Right. Well,
So,
I'm going to pause you for
yeah,
1
go
second.
ahead.
Do we have anybody on the phone? Any calls on the phone? Okay. And I know we need to take a commercial break. I know Kiana has a lot of questions. And I wanted you to be able to breathe. And I wanted our viewers to be able to digest, ask their questions. I want to also say, this says, wow, young king, may God continue to bless you. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And if you're going to get any help, resources, extension of that, this is the right place to do it. So can we give Wesley a round of applause again? I thank you for being transparent.
Yes.
And really being raw. And let's all breathe. Let's go to commercial. Y'all drop y'all questions below. grown, but she's all across the country. She just did an event with Drake and my cousin's brother, Mario. So, hey, Mario, it's your birthday today. And Raheem Devon. And she's always everywhere. But even in that, they don't lose their sense of community. So, guys, check out Borden Transportation. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Callie. Hey, y'all. So, we are back. Challenge to Change Summer Camp, again, is this Saturday, August 31st from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It's at the Fort Worthington Elementary School, which is 2710 East Hoffman Street. I want to give a shout out to Uncle T and his beautiful wife. Oh, we love him and his beautiful
That's a
wife,
real dude,
Marcia. We love them. Josh has been in their camp all summer. He has grown. He has matured in some ways, and I can't wait to send him back next summer. If you guys have any kind of school supplies you can donate, please do that. They need book bags, pens, papers, all of those things. The 48-gallon tub of hand sanitizer, the 170 million roll sheet of tissues. The dog sneezed. And,
What?
yeah, all of that. So we want to support Challenge to Change. Come out on Saturday at 10 a.m. Bring some supplies and donate things.
Yes, yes. Alrighty.
All right, so we're officially back, right? All right. Back to the Connected Corner. Woo! So,
Shout out to
yeah,
everybody in my life.
I'm just in awe. So
You said, yeah. Well, I want to thank you, Wesley, for honestly just being vulnerable. I know myself, and we talk about this a lot. When you're telling your story, and like we say, when you get to a place, you've come to some of the grieve, grow, and goals that we've done at Walbrook Library, and it's very important to continue to tell that story. It's important to share because a lot of times people don't know. I know very much so. I relate. I don't talk about. I'm just clearing my throat. I don't talk about a lot of what I've gone through, even with my own parents, particularly mom. So when you was telling the story about leading to let go, it takes a lot inside to do that. I had to evict my mother from my house. She was staying with me also. I'm dealing with drug addiction, and so it came to a point where she went from, I don't even know, I wasn't in the house, so I didn't see it much as a child. I was already kind of pretty much out of the house and on my own when it started, but to go through that the last 10 years and look at and say, well, how did we get here? How did we get here? But it takes a lot within. People say, you actually evict your mother? Yeah, I had to evict my mother. I had to evict her because, you having children, you having certain things. And at that time, I had 3 younger children. And so you kind of go through that, but I've been there where I'm just sitting waiting for the phone
You like
call.
you 15. You got 3 kids.
Yes,
Grown kids.
Grown kids.
all of them.
You met my 2 sons. At the
But
One-
she's
my boy just
57.
went to,
She'll be 58 in
school.
October.
yeah.
Did you know that? She'll be 58 in October.
My man need to be a young model if they don't know.
Yeah.
He is a man.
Yeah, he
Wesley,
is.
don't ignore my corny jokes.
No, I will be 44 next. Well, it's not September yet, but I'll be 44 in October, and y'all get ready because we're gonna do 44 days of my Obama year.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
every year I have to make the worst financial decisions. I'll be like, okay, how much is a plane? I'm getting an elephant from where? Every
I'm not that
year
bad.
it's Kiana's. We have to celebrate the 40 some days into the birthday and 44 days out of the birthday.
See, my first time, I'm probably be toe up every night.
Yeah, it's actually really
I
fun
have
though. She does
things.
it's a theme every time and it's creative.
Yes,
Every
I do
time.
things, and that's how we do. So, but I just commend you for all that you're doing in the community, for taking on raising your younger brother and being a dad. That takes a lot of responsibility. So, a lot of times people look and they say, how do you manage everything? And they don't know, how you manage all the things you do. So thank you for sharing that with us. And anybody have any questions?
Well,
I do.
I'm sorry, I'm just cut in real quick. You have 3 new aunties here. And so we mean that. Like each of us has worked with children. We're all certified to work with children. We love kids. And so we are publicly.
I run them.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
get
mean-
them out and I run them.
And the energy that he has, she will find a healthy way to help him exhaust some of that energy so you can go from 4 to 6
You
hours
have
of
to
sleep that
exhaust
night.
them. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, you
I
got to
keep
exhaust
up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, so I did have 2 questions for you. Because you are a leader, what does it take to be a strong, positive leader as a black man?
I think to being a strong, positive leader as a black man takes a lot. I think you need to find your balance of self-care, one, because sometimes when you're doing, the work at a high level and at the grassroots, those things can weigh on you. And if you don't take time to, deal with yourself and make sure you are okay, then it can burn you out. So I want to say, people need to focus on, as well as you fighting and doing the work, make sure you make some time to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then that leads to other harm and trauma that you carry with yourself that you might not know is inside of you.
Wow.
Secondly, I would say it takes a lot of discipline. And what I mean by discipline is a lot of things come your way. When you are someone out here that is doing the work, and I'll just speak on me personally, like so many things come my way that I have to be like, nah, I don't stand for that, or I don't do that, or that's not who I am, or that's not why I'm doing this. You have to be disciplined, because if you're not disciplined, you end up putting yourself in a situation that may hinder you in the future or make you look bad, later on for something that you might have, not even really understood that you put yourself in that predicament. So I want to say be disciplined, have your eyes open, pay attention. And, if you have some type of faith, pray. Pray, and keep your faith. It's just a lot of things that I think go into that. Study, reading. Reading is very, very, very instrumental into being a leader, because when you're a leader, you should know what has happened to your people, what has happened to your community, what is going on and what is wrong. So things like deculturalization. A lot of people don't even understand why black people are so far behind in America. And if you talk to some kids, like one of the young men in my program, I took him to the African American Museum in DC. And looking at these things, he literally told me, Mr. Hawkins, I didn't know black people built these things. I didn't know black people contribute basically anything. I thought we just, I thought of white. That was his ideology, and that's what he thought. So this young man didn't have any understanding of history. He didn't understand. To him, this is where we belong. This is how we are. This is just what it is. Black people. And it's like, if you don't know these things, if you don't know that you have been stripped from your native land, you have been stripped of your native tongue, you have been stripped of your native lifestyle, and your actual origin of your community structures and things like that. Wow. There's a lot of things that our people don't read and study and really dig into and digest that we live through. So I would say, if you're going to be a leader, you have to be that person that take the countless hours to study, to research, to read, and see what's going on. So stuff like that, it's definitely big. Like, just one quick point. Like, I always tell people, right now, black students are doing the worst out of all other students in America. Even the Latinos, they coming over here and they can't read. And they don't know English at a high level. But once they get into it, they struggling too, but they are outscoring our kids in math and reading and science. They, it's almost the discipline and the structure that they have in these families that we need to understand. We've been stripped of that, but we need to get that back. Like the structure of, some of us put our kids out. Oh, you 18, you gotta get out of here. Oh, you 18, go get this job. No, that young man or young girl is not even developed enough mentally to even sustain themselves. So you pushing them out there to the world, and they don't even know what's coming ahead of them. So it's like these things in our community, if you don't know it, if you don't understand it, and if you can't, articulate it well to the community, then you can't be what I would say a productive leader. You can be somebody that makes a lot of noise. But being productive and getting the message out there is big.
And shifting the culture and taking back our minds. This is so good. We're supposed to do like a conference, right?
Yeah, he said the productive. Because you got a lot of people out here just busy and making noise. but the productivity, it's like you've been around, you don't, how many people have you helped?
Right.
We have so many people, you want to come and, let me say, I want your help with my program. I want help with this. And they can tell you all the things you need to do. They can tell you want everything that's wrong with Baltimore. They tell you everything that's wrong, everything we need to do, everything that needs to be done. And then you say, okay, so how many children have you helped? How many you haven't done it, but you want to continue to say and make noise about what is wrong.
Because we need to
but not
become
truly ready to
solution
help.
driven.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And then we also, I'm sorry, I know Nice has another question, but I think that for me, when I walk in certain rooms, people walk away because they know that I will shut them down if they are only talking noise.
Facts.
So Kiana and I have a very deliberate way of asking the question and very intentional. So who have you helped? Where are they? How can they? How can we? Because what you're not going to do is you're not going to demean our culture anymore with the negative narrative. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nice.
Facts. That was good. All right. So, what advice would you give to someone trying to start a nonprofit?
The advice I would give someone trying to start a nonprofit, me personally, I would say get up under someone to learn from. Don't just jump out here and just start your thing. So what happens a lot of the time, something that might take or cost $500 or $1,000, a person that don't know it might end up spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get things off the ground, because it's that actual experience, it's the actual knowledge, education, and wisdom that you learn from learning up under somebody else. In Baltimore right now, we have tons of people that keep saying, I want to start this, I want to start that. It's nothing wrong with wanting to be your own brand and your own movement. But if you don't know much about the things that you're trying to walk into, then you won't be productive. So you have people that are like, oh, I want to start a nonprofit, I want to start this business. Well, a lot of the times nonprofits and businesses fail because they didn't take the proper time to actually develop and learn under somebody else. And when you learn under somebody else, it's not like that's a bad thing. I tell people all the time, and I learned this again from reading, to be a great leader, you have to once understand following up under somebody else that can teach you the right things. So those hours, those days, those weeks, those months, those years that you spend learning up under somebody else, you learn their mistakes, you learn their greatness, you learn their weakness, you learn their strengths, and then now you can apply those things to your own movement and your own cause. So me personally, what I always like to tell young individuals and even adults, and I've been asked this, question recently. I had, a young, lady was like, Mr. Hawkins, can you help me start my nonprofit?
I think we had a phone call. Excuse us for 1 second. Is that what that is? We got a phone call coming in?
Yeah.
Wesley, excuse us for 1 second. Somebody wants to call and talk to us. Hello, caller.
You
got something to say? You got something to say that makes sense? Fuck off. Fuck off, talk you.
Okay.
Yo.
So do we know
stop
what
prank
that
calling
is?
us.
Right. Is that a prank call? All right. So, well, at least we know you're listening. So, go ahead, Kiana.
Oh no, I want to again thank you for coming today.
Absolutely.
I will say the time when we were at the Western District community event and my sons were there, you did make a really strong impression on them, and I kind of like pulled them over, had you talk to them on purpose, and you left a lasting impression definitely on them. So thank you for all that you do in the community, and just continue to do the great work. And we're here to help in any way we can.
Thank you for the support. It means a lot.
Tell us how to find you, follow you, social media.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram at DEAR__NOLITA. That was my mother's name, Nolita, NOLITA. So everything is kind of modeled after that. So again, it's DEAR_NOLITA. It's the same on Twitter, DEARNOLITA. If you are a Facebook person, it's just my name, Wesley, WESLEY, Hawkins, HAWKINS.
That's correction. It's Wesley Darnell Hawkins.
Oh, you're right. I do have my middle name.
Right.
Yeah.
I can never find you.
No, it is. It's Wesley Darnell Hawkins. I actually put my whole name. I forgot about that. my website is Nolita Project, NOLITA Project. .org. So the Nolita Project is a mentorship program organization that helps young youth and young adults develop in many ways. You know, financial literacy. We do home visits, school visits. We do community organizing, community cleanups. We just help them all around. So I have young men and young ladies in my program that when I first, got them and they came in intake, they were, not okay. I've, got kids that were on the box and now they off the box doing well. I've had, a young lady who had 3 children at a young age and she felt like there was no way that she could make it, and now she's a registered nurse and taking care of all her kids. So, just seeing them through the long haul, is young individuals who are, I have one of my mentees, she's in the LGBTQ community, and she had a major problem with her family. And she was like, Mr. Hawkins, I can't even go home because they trying to make me date men. I don't like men. She's like, if I don't date men, they tell me I can't live that no more. Wow. So sitting down and having these discussions with parents, having these discussions with family members, having these discussions with close friends, a lot of people don't understand we are forcing people to do things such as harm themselves, self-mutilation, or become, addicts of, hardcore drugs, pills, and, stuff. Yeah. But we don't understand how when we mistreat someone, that then has a reaction. I like to teach that everything you do has a reaction. It can be negative, it can be positive, but it's some type of reaction to it. And from that energy, there is going to be something. So you can follow me. Again, I know I just went off a little bit.
It's all right. Be like Jerry Springer. Give us your final thoughts.
Yeah. So you can follow me on all social media. But my final thoughts are, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter where you've been, and no matter what the struggle is, you can be great. You can be successful, but you got to put that work in.
Got to put that work in. Let's give a hand clap to Wesley Hawkins. We've already told you, you are family, you are connected. This has been the Connected Corner, where you're going to get news and resources you can actually use. You have touched on so many topics. We would need a whole week to go through trauma and adopting family members and all of these different things. But we thank God for you, for your service and your 33. Jesus was 33 when he was crucified. So we're going to talk about that later on. All right. So I want to say thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. See you next week.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday. The Connected Corner.
Yeah. Make sure y'all next Tuesday, Connect the Corner, man. Follow us.
Peace.